owners.
Today on Built to Last, she's got skill.
She's a role model to the teachers and the apprentices as a whole.
Give a guy a hammer,
It ain't just good for me, it's good for society.
and family comes together. Take off your hard hat. It's time for Built to Last. Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Labor and Management Committee and Armstrong Ceilings. Faster, easier, better.
Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Monica Pedersen.
And I'm Mark Nilsson. We're social distancing here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprenticeship and Training Center, where the carpenters of tomorrow learn the skills they'll need for a successful career in the trade.
But that's not the only thing they're learning here, Mark. They also start forming the bonds of brotherhood and family that are a hallmark of any trade union.
The brothers and sisters of the trade unions understand this bond perhaps more deeply than anyone else, and are always there to support one of their own during life-changing times, particularly when tragedy strikes.
We had a situation a couple years ago, a member out of Local 10.
Javier Avila was a drywall installer and working for a company up in Lake Forest, Illinois. He lived in Blue Island, Illinois.
He was unfortunately hurt on a job site, a severe leg injury.
Él no podía caminar, le ayudaron a subirse a su camioneta para que se viniera a la casa. Duró 2 días que no podía caminar y el pie se le hinchó mucho, tuvo que ir al hospital. Le sacaron radiografías, le dijeron que estaba fracturado. Entonces la unión nos ayudó para que le pagaran el dinero por lo que él trabajó.
That's when I first got to know Javier and his family. It was during the process of establishing the wage claim and getting his comp case going.
He was eventually cut loose from his doctor, and his leg wasn't completely healed.
It was way too early for him to be released for work because this type of injury he had, he wasn't fit for duty as a carpenter. So he was forced to work odd jobs. He was collecting scrap metal. He was doing whatever he could do to put food on the table for his family.
Yo tenía mucho miedo porque él salía muy temprano, pero era estar en las calles, estar buscando el metal.
So he was out there doing that one day in an alley as he was loading scrap and getting into the truck when the person behind him decided that he wasn't moving fast enough, and they decided to pull out a gun and shoot him.
And killed June 26th, 2019.
They murdered him in cold blood in that alley,
leaving behind a wife and 3 children.
Yo no sabía nada hasta que llegó la policía para decirme que tuvo un accidente. Cuando me dijeron que tuvo una discusión con una persona, fue cuando pregunté qué le hizo. Me dijo que le dispararon. Yo me quedé como en shock.
There's a guy who didn't deserve it.
But fortunately, he has a second family, and that's the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters.
So we decided at that point we had to do some more, we had to help. The Survivors Fund was established by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters under Gary Perenar's leadership a few years ago.
The Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters formed what we call a Survivor Fund, which we work hand in hand with our labor management group, our contractors, that provides benefits for people that, quite frankly, needs it at the worst time in their lives.
From day one, Gary has always stressed the importance of family and the fact that this is a true brotherhood who takes care of its own. The Helping Hands Fund was established by the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, our international body, and it's designed to help families like the Avilas who have suffered a catastrophe or who are under duress for any number of reasons. And again, it's designed to establish the fact that we are a brotherhood and that we do take care of our own.
And with that, I'd like to bring the family in right now to read the communication from our UBC.
And today, they were overwhelmed. We didn't tell them about it, so when they got here, they were very surprised. Rocio, his wife, she was pretty overwhelmed with it all.
Under the leadership we have now, families first. Enclosed, please find the UBC Helping Hands check made payable to Rocio Avila to assist Brother Avila's family during this difficult time.
This is the kind of thing that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning and get after this job. I've seen them at both ends of the spectrum, and they're overwhelmed with happiness today. I've seen the sadness too.
Yo diría que el mejor. Cuando él supo que yo estaba embarazada, se sintió el hombre más feliz del mundo y a partir de ese momento dedicó su vida a ellos. Hacía todo lo que hacía por ellos. Pues a él le gustaba trabajar de carpintero. Tiempos favoritos era sembrar, pasar tiempo conmigo, con los niños. Ahorita la unión la siento como mi familia. Muchas gracias por apoyarme, por estar siempre al pendiente de mí si lo que necesito. Muchas gracias.
And whatever happened in that alley, nobody should go through that. And all our effort to help him, we couldn't have been there for him that day. There's nothing that we could have done about it, but there's something we can do now. And hope that none of our families have to go through that again.
Rocio is so thankful that she now volunteers with the Carpenters Union at local food drives.
We're actually hosting Food for Hope that's kicked off after the initiation of COVID-19. Today we're sponsored by the Carpenters Union.
Mrs. Avila coming out makes a big difference to all of us in the Carpenters because her husband was one of our brothers and we miss him and he inspired a lot of the help we got today.
Hopefully, we'll make it stretch as much as possible.
No he pasado por momentos difíciles, pero ayudar a personas me hace sentir bien.
Thanks a million. We appreciate you guys.
Hire 360 is going to give us an opportunity to train more people in the construction industry so that they can become a part of the union.
At Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions, we take great pride in making a positive difference in the lives of people. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and the technical performance to back it up, you can design and install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered ceiling solutions make it easy for you to seamlessly transition from one end of the building to the other. Improve construction efficiencies and keep every job on time, on budget, and on the mark with Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions. Faster, easier, better.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
From bridges and trains to iconic high-rises, have you ever wondered who's powering Chicago? Unlike our sports heroes, they go unnoticed. Yet they proudly keep our businesses, homes, and great city running. IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors have the experience, training, and reliability to keep Chicago open for business.
When it comes to a career in the trades, many young people, particularly those from economically disadvantaged neighborhoods, often face significant barriers to entry. But there's help for people to turn it all around, which will lead to a new, diverse workforce and a successful career.
The union is such a powerful organization in our city, and having them at the table and figuring out how we can get some of the youth into the unions is important. It's important that we have a diverse organization in the union because we want the union to reflect the city of Chicago.
I am engaging with the community to ensure that they are aware of the project, Lincoln Yards, which is the 53-acre development.
There's never been this many mega projects. You have Related Midwest 78. Farpoint is working on the Michael Reese site.
Hire 360 is going to give us an opportunity to train more people in the construction industry so that they can become a part of the union and so that we can keep the construction industry alive with union workers right here in the city of Chicago. We'll help people with the curriculum they need to pass tests, become part of the union if you have transportation needs.
What we want is that not just a career change, but generational change in the communities that need it the most. Historically, it's been the South Side and the West Side, and they haven't had options to all these different career paths.
The reason why I even started my company in the first place was because of the violence that's in Chicago. But when you give people like me an opportunity, I get those same people that's out there doing those type of things an opportunity to do something different. Therefore, now it ain't just good for me, it's good for society.
One of the other key components of Hire 360 is really helping small businesses owned by community members not only get started, but grow by becoming union contractors.
It's a lot of challenges as a small business, and working capital is one of the most important ones.
It's a lot. When you have employees, you got a lot of inventory, you got to balance your books.
There is a disparity in lending with, diverse and women-owned, African-American-owned, Hispanic-owned firms.
So we started having meetings, and it was some of the local union leaders along with the General Contractors Association and other fellow developers.
Dave Carlins, the president of Magellan Development, really took on our small business development focus.
And one of the needs that seemed like an easy fix was getting them some loans at reasonable rates so that they could handle their cash flow.
You wait 4 or 5 months to get paid.
Providing people with loans so that way they can bridge that until they get paid for finishing up the work on a site.
The banks are going to be super happy that they made these loans because we know these are quality people who are going to pay them back.
And the reason I'm really here tonight is we have our contractors, our unions, and our developers together raising over $750,000 in one evening to develop these credit lines for these businesses.
We had all these contractors and developers together and put their money together. All of y'all are contributing right now to help these guys to get loans to start their own business.
These guys are going to be more profitable and be able to hire more people.
Some of these guys come from my ward. One guy that grew up in Henry Horner Projects.
Charles Wilson, Unity Fencing.
Union labor for maybe 5 years, trying to find my niche, and felt like fencing was it.
And now he has a fabrication company.
For everyday payroll, material, equipment.
He takes guys from the neighborhood where he grew up and teach them the business, and now they all are making union contracting dollars.
But now you just took 3 or 4 people off the street or off unemployment, and they're now become part of the economic ecosystem.
Calvin Jenkins, Community Playlock Builders.
I brought guys that came from different organizations together that hated each other, was shooting at each other, and now they're friends. They're hanging out together, they work together.
It gives the next generation of kids something to inspire and look towards.
The guys that's over here that's just hanging out in the community actually want to do something different, and it also gives them hope. I want to thank Hire 360. They got on board with the general contractors and the developers, big companies that came together with the union and said, hey, it's time now to make a difference. Let's change these people's lives.
When you look around and you see things are not right, you do things like Don Bernanke is doing, David Carlins, Andy Gloria with Sterling Bay. You see developers, you see Clayco, you see Hire 360. We're here to start impacting our communities and creating change. And you put a plan in place and you start having action and things start happening. The moment is now for us to start thinking more about diversity and inclusion and being intentional about it.
Go to hire360chicago.com. You can learn more about the different trade programs so we can get you connected into one of the building trades programs right away.
Rather than leaving college with thousands of dollars of debt, union carpenter apprentices actually get paid throughout their 4 years of training.
You have to follow instructions.
I think I just love learning, and I think that's one of the biggest things that have helped me.
Keeping restaurants and hotels up to date with the latest design trends is a constant challenge. Finding qualified contractors isn't at finishingchicago.com. We work with top designers and general contractors who use the latest painting, drywall finishing, and wall covering techniques in Chicagoland's premier hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry relies on finishingchicago.com as its free resource to find quality finishing contractors. For a great finish, start with finishingchicago.com.
24/7, IBEW Local 9 linemen are there protecting you and your family. From the moment you wake up with a power in your home, on your way to work, lighting the way and easing congestion, plus keeping you safe with traffic lights and cameras. So the next time you're at a stoplight, pass under a power line, or just pull into your brightly lit neighborhood, think of your friends at IBEW Local 9. We'll continue to light the way for you. Meet us online at IBEW9.org.
Got a commercial, industrial, or healthcare construction project? Use a professional Flooring Installers Association install certified contractor.
Flooring must be skillfully installed so it looks great and lasts.
PFIA skilled union installers receive industry-leading training, including ICRA, to deliver quality and safety with any flooring product.
PFIA contractors are the single source for all of your flooring needs.
Flooring done right. The Professional Flooring Installers Association.
A career in the trades can change lives. One of Chicago's most accomplished union painters is proof of that. The road she's traveled through her career has been long, sometimes challenging, but ultimately fruitful, making those close to her as proud as they can be.
Veronica, in my opinion, is one of the leaders in the wall covering industry.
It's a nice feeling to know that my mom is making an impact in other people's lives besides like me and my brother, as well as just anyone else in our family.
She's a role model to the teachers and the apprentices as a whole.
Just learning from her and the struggles she went through, so this is how I can go over my obstacle then.
She has a great rapport with a lot of the manufacturers of these products. Through different events and conferences and networking, she has gotten that recognition throughout the country.
I think I just did what I needed to do to get a better life.
You have to follow instructions.
I just love learning. That's one of the biggest things that have helped me to be where I'm at. My father is an American citizen because of his mom. She was born and raised here, and then when she got married, she moved back to Mexico. I was 16 when my father told us that we were moving to Chicago. I couldn't speak nor write English. I was telling my mom, I'm not gonna be able to go to college.
Instead, Veronica and her brother followed their sister's path to Job Corps, the nation's largest free education and job training program for young adults.
That single decision changed my life for the better. I wanted to take painting. I always wanted to be interior designer. I was the first female to actually get into the finishing in that particular Job Corps, plus my GED. And I was an apprentice for many, many years. I was the only woman in the job. I started working with this small company. I was 18. That treat me like a daughter, and they pretty much took me under their wing, and they showed me everything they knew about the trades. They're the ones that kept pushing me. You gotta be an American, you gotta do your citizenship, and this is the country that is giving me all the opportunities. So I did it, and I'm so happy I did.
My parents got divorced, and I was more acting up just because like I thought it was my fault. When she started getting older, she started acting up. So we were driving back from her visit with the doctor, and she said something along the lines like, I don't understand why you're depressed. I forgot what I said that triggered her. And she said something that, what did I know? All you do is hang paper. I only hang paper. So that got me so mad. The worst thing possible to say to someone who's been working in this field for so long, and I don't even have a clue what she really actually does. Like, I cooled down and I did talk to her. I told her coming from another country and not knowing the English, being a Hispanic woman in construction in a world that is mostly dominated by guys, and to be one of the top installers in the city, that's pretty cool. We started actually bonding more, and then I was able to have opportunities to see her like work like in her field and seeing what she does. I know she's proud of me. I know both of my kids are. I went to a community college. It was Harold Washington. I was in a club called Unity Club. I was the president. I really wanted to do a panel that brought women from heavily dominated like male jobs. I'll bring like a lawyer and then like a rapper, and so I brought in my mom, someone in the trades, like it's a college. They wouldn't ever think about that, right? And the room was pretty much packed. I remember at the end of it, I saw a lot of people like approaching my mom. So I thought it was pretty cool.
being part of a union and feel that they're gonna back me up if I have issues, that has made me feel more comfortable.
Veronica is consistently trying to improve herself and gain more knowledge, asking to continue her education through the degree program that we have set up through the International.
It's everything. Everything I have, everything I know, everything I've done for the last 27 some years is thanks to the union.
Everyone talks so great about her, and that her experiences make her a professional and pretty much in every aspect. I would like to be like that too.
And the wall itself, as everyone knows, has the names of every individual who has perished during the Vietnam War.
When you have a plumbing emergency, you want it fixed fast and done right. Plumbers 911 connects you with a highly experienced plumber in 5 minutes or less. That's our 5-minute promise. All our plumbers are highly trained, background checked, licensed, and insured, so your job will be done right the first time. Our phones are open 24/7 to solve your plumbing problem day or night. Call 1-833-PLUM-911. Plumbers 911, your plumbing connection.
We are DeWalt. We're the ones who grind it out. The ones using materials from all over the world to build the things that build America right here in America. And there's no place we'd rather be. Land of the free, tools of the brave.
This is a team. It's made up of different players, positions, skills, talented, sure, but on their own? Because every team needs a coach, someone who makes things work together. That's how Lesset works. We're coaches in the construction industry, bringing together laborers and management, unions and contractor associations. Our work leads to safer, stronger construction, which is a win for us all.
Rob North is a Marine Corps veteran and a journeyman union carpenter.
He's our special correspondent who is here to bring us our next story.
Thanks, Monica and Mark. As a veteran, keeping our brothers and sisters in arms who were lost in combat in mind is just one small way to honor them. That's why it makes me so proud that the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters takes an active role in a special traveling Vietnam memorial every time it comes to the Chicago area. And we'll meet a retired carpenter who uses his carpentry skills to remember those from many walks of life who have passed away before their time.
We have a great thing about the flag. We've served under it, we fought under it, and at the end, it'll cover our coffin.
So every time we put up flags, there's a meaning for it. Like the flags that we have here, there's 1,588 flags. That's how many POWs and MIAs are still missing from the Vietnam War. So we have their oversized dog tags with their names on it in alphabetical order.
We're out at West Dundee at Randall Oaks Park with the True Patriots Care Foundation. We got a good group of volunteers out here helping set up all these flags. We also have the wall that heals.
And the wall itself, as everyone knows, has the names of every individual who has perished during the Vietnam War.
We hooked up with True Patriots Care and Jerry Christofferson probably back 6 or 7 years ago, and we've helped them throughout, put up displays throughout Chicagoland area.
He gave me his card and says, "You need some help? Let me know." Well, I always need help. I went to a delegates meeting and we showed a video of what we do and stuff, and they've just been so supportive. And as you can see today, with the turnout that we had, it's amazing. When it's supposed to take 6 to 8 hours to put together, they did it in 4.
Once it's up, it's going to be like a cemetery.
How can you talk about losing people? You really can't talk about losing people. You know they were there. They might have been your friend, might have been a relative, might have been a brother, or whatever. But There's no real way to say except for thank you.
The Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters recently lost a retired member who made hallowed ground wherever he stood.
My dad was a church builder, so he built several churches from the ground up. And I just saw how amazingly fast they framed that thing up. You know, just watching stuff like that, I just really wanted not just to be a framer, but to be a trimmer and a master carpenter. I decided to actually join the Carpenters Union in 1977 and went 4 years every Saturday to Carpentersville. And I just loved it. They taught me how to cut stairs and how to do roof rafters. And their teachers were these old geezers that knew everything.
One of them, Bud Stadler, took Greg under his wing. Bud became his best friend and father-in-law.
When I started building houses, he was there for me. Every day he'd come by.
Until one day, he didn't.
Bud got murdered on January the 15th, 1996. And that same year, there was a young kid here in Aurora, just a few blocks from here, Nico Contreras, that was murdered. Nico's mom asked me, would you build a cross for Nico? One thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm building them for everybody. I went to Columbine in 1999. And after Columbine, I just started getting called all over the country. So quickly, in 2 years, I put up 3,000 crosses. Went to the Giffords in Tucson, Arizona. I went to, of course, Newtown. If you're from Chicago, you probably remember either the porch collapse or the E2 nightclub or the Federal Building fire. Made too many crosses.
At the time of his death in May 2020, Greg had delivered over 26,000 crosses.
I don't have closure. My friend was murdered over 20 years ago. But it brings people a way to remember their son, their father, their daughter, their friend, in a very dignified way.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Hey, Monica, why did the carpenter join the Marines?
Why?
Because he wanted to be a drill sergeant.